Alright, so this is the 5th week of off-season deadlift training. On this day I'm scheduled to work up to a 5x5 at 80%. Still currently using my 600-pound deadlift. I did double it, but I'm using that as a training max. So that puts me at a top set of 480 pounds for today. I was doing a little bit of work here just in the beginning, working on making sure that I'm locking my lats down and just kind of playing with the hip height to see if I could find a better starting position for my pulls. And so these felt pretty decent. It doesn't look terribly different than how I normally pull, but I'm trying to emphasize the loading of the hamstrings a little bit differently than I normally do. And so on the lighter weights here, these actually felt really fast. And I'm starting to, or I'm continuing to play around with using the knees and the quads to accentuate and strengthen the lockout. So this is, I believe, 315. I'm still working with a double overhand grip and then straps on my heavier work sets, just to avoid developing any muscular imbalances just from continuing to use that over-under grip the same direction like I normally do. So this is 365 here. That went up nice and fast. 405, I did throw on the straps, but everything unwinds pretty nice and smoothly here. So I was feeling really good going into this day. This first set of 460 for 5 was nice and smooth. One thing that I was noticing, and you'll see that this gets better as the sets progress here, is that while I'm spending more time paying attention to my setup and kind of focusing on driving through the ground, I do lose a lot of that violence when I initiate the pull. Part of that's just because I'm trying not to get overly hyped up and just stay relatively calm before I actually start the lift. But I think that actually ends up hurting me, because one of the ways that I get so much speed off of the floor is the aggression that I put into the bar when I first initiate the pull. So I think next week I'm going to bring a belt back in as I taper up towards that 85% mark next week, which will put me, I believe, around 510 or 515 or so off the blocks. Because I think that I've gotten enough, there we go, these sets are a lot faster and more aggressive. I've gotten a good amount of technique work, and now I need to find a happy medium between the loading of the hamstrings, which I've been doing well, but also getting that aggression off of the floor, so that way I'm not losing out on that bar speed, since I haven't been breaking position. So I'm going to keep working around with that. I may throw in some snatch grip pulls as an accessory movement down the line. I think that will also help with maintaining the leg drive and also providing a good stimulus for upper back strength. So this is my top set at 480. I was pretty fried after the last set at 475. So on this one, I only was able to pull a single, and it felt slow and felt pretty decently heavy. So I pulled this first rep here, and then threw a belt on and then knocked out the last 4 right afterwards. So I didn't take any break between these two kind of half sets, but I did add the belt in because this was slow. Position held, kind of had a little bit of a hitch there, and was having a hard time locking the hips out, so that just wasn't happening. But put the belt on, and these felt pretty good. They weren't super difficult with the belt in. I was just mostly just tired is all. So overall, still happy with this day and the progress that I've been able to make over the last couple of weeks. So looking forward to see where that goes. I followed the main deadlift work here. That was a weak lockout. I followed the main deadlift work here with some more work on my sumo deadlift, working in sets of 5 today instead of 8 like I did last week, and I tapered up. I started my first set at 315, which is my top set from last week, and went 315 for 5, which felt really easy, 365 for 5, and then 405 for 5, which actually still felt pretty easy. Today was a lot better of a day for sumo. I did some good hip mobility work yesterday, so I'm able to get my knees out a little bit more evenly last week, and pretty typically you can see that right leg is a little bit more mobile than the left. So this is definitely an improvement from last week, though, and I'm going to continue to work that mobility work the day before I squat and the day before I pull, because I found that that lets me get into a lot better positions without over loosening everything by doing it immediately before starting the training for that day. So these went up really good. I'm starting to find a good groove and tempo for my sumo deads. I think next week, based on how this set of 405 felt, which was pretty easy and fast, next week I think I'm going to try and push this up to the 450 range or so, staying in 3 to 5 rep range. So if I can pull 455 to 5, then I'll be pretty happy with that. So I'll probably start off at 365 and taper up and just kind of play it by ear. But I feel like a 500-pound sumo is actually already there. I just got to get my technique a little bit more smoothed out. So followed all that with some single arm dumbbell rows. This is with 115 pounds. I went 3 sets there, followed with the lat pull downs and shrugs and the ab work that I did last week. So nothing new on the home front. That is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done it yet, be sure to connect with me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're interested in any of the programs we offer here at the gym, visit our website at www.savagegym.com.